Most traders don't blow up because of their trading strategy, but because of money management. More specifically, because they change their risk at the worst time possible. So, in this video, I'll show you exactly how much to risk, when to increase your risk, when to decrease it, and how not to mess it up. If you are growing a small account, then 5% sounds a bit aggressive, but if you do want to really make a small account into a big one, it's difficult and risky, but if you want to do it, you need to risk quite a lot, which I think 5% is more or less okay for this purpose. If, on the other hand, you have a huge account and you want to live out of it, then you don't want to risk too much. Could be, for example, 0.5% per trade. Or if you are somewhere in between, then 2% risk per trade seems like an optimal risk. Now, important thing here, and I really want to stress this out, is that you want to risk the same amount for each trade. What people often do is they risk more for trades that they trust in, and trades that they are not so sure about, they risk less. But in my opinion, some of the trades that don't seem that superb in the beginning sometimes end up beautiful trades, and if there is a trade that you believe in so much and risk a lot of money on that, then that turns out to be a loser. So for that reason, my advice is to risk the same amount for each trade. Now, another thing that I like to talk about is when to increase risk. You know, I've seen this so many times. A beginner started to trade my strategy and they had good results. Something like this. After a period of many winning trades, they felt like they are invincible and that they should increase their risk. They did that, and right after that, this happened. They had a losing streak, and at top of that, with increased risk. So they blew up their accounts. My advice is do not increase your risk after a winning streak or when you are in a winning streak. Because usually after a winning streak, what comes next is a period where the strategy doesn't do so well, goes sideways or even makes a little drawdown. And if you decide to increase your risk, let's say double your risk at this point, then this area will not look like this, but it will look like this, which is way more terrifying. So instead, you want to increase risk when your trading equity goes something like this, sideways or slightly up, nothing terrific, not in a huge drawdown, but you know, something like this. This is the right time to increase your risk. But you know, I'm not saying you need to increase the risk. Like if you are trading with 2% risk per trade and you're okay with that, then just, you know, stick to it. But if you want to increase your risk, for example, if you are risking 1% and want to risk 2%, then don't do it when you are in a winning streak. Now, another thing that I want to cover is when to decrease your risk. Typically, you want to do this when you are in a huge drawdown, a bigger drawdown than you historically ever experienced. All right, so what you see here on this picture, this is a chart of equity, and this line shows a standard drawdown, a drawdown which is sort of typical for your strategy in the long run. If you are past that, and if you are, for example, here, and you are in an excessive drawdown, then you want to decrease your trading position, right? For example, 50% of your normal position. What many people do in this case is they just, you know, take a long pause from trading. They review stuff and they think about their strategy. Maybe they even change the strategy. But what I recommend is don't stop trading when you are in excessive drawdown, because what is most likely to happen is that there'll be many winning trades after that. And if you pause your trading for a long time, you'll just miss a great period, right? So I recommend review your trades, that's for sure. Review what went wrong, but keep trading with smaller position to regain confidence in your strategy, right? So this is the part where you are regaining confidence. And when you see that you are on the right track and that the strategy is performing, then you can increase the risk back to normal from here, right? And from this place, trade with normal volumes. So that's my advice on decreasing the risk. Alright guys, I hope you liked the video. If you want to learn more about the way that I trade, if you want to get your hands on my custom-made trading indicators, then head over to my website. It is traderdale.com, and if you click this button right here which says trading course and tools, then it will take you to a page where you can browse my trading education and custom-made tools. So thanks for watching the video and see you next time. Until then, happy trading.